Today we have with us Mr. Bill Weidemann from California. Welcome, Mr. Weidemann. How are you today?
I'm doing good, Miss Gleason. So I think we can use Trish and Bill, can't we?
Yes, we are.
Okay,
That'd
good.
be perfect. Well, today, Mr. Weidemann, who is a renowned expert in the field of red light therapy, is going to teach you everything you wanted to know about red light therapy and find out if it is truly effective. Now, Bill has also been the creator, and I'm sure he'll tell us a little more about that, of some red light therapy products. So he knows everything about the what's good, what's not good, and he'll explain that to you. So, how I think you've been in this market for about a decade. Is that
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I've been doing it for about that long now. Yeah.
Okay.
A
Well, we're
little bit short
excited
of,
to. Pardon me.
just a little bit short of that. So soon we'll.
Okay, great. Well, we're excited to learn a little bit more because we've heard great things about red light therapy. So let's get started with some questions we've
Sure.
had. Um, what I guess start off by just telling us what's the science behind red light therapy.
Yeah, a lot of people will try to tell you all the details of the science and so on, and I'll give you some of that, but it's really easy to understand. It's been going on for millions of years. Everything on planet Earth is because of the sun. So we are here, the trees are here, everything is here because of the sun. And that's what red light therapy is. It nourishes all the plant life, all the human life. I would say that it started to become apparent to people a couple hundred years ago, and maybe the first recorded was, I think, 450 years ago. A guy won a Nobel Prize. I'm sorry, not 450 years ago. He won a Nobel Prize about 50 years ago for applying red light therapy. And even before that, that was used during the Spanish flu. There were so many people that were affected by the Spanish flu that there wasn't room in the clinics. They just stacked them up outside on cots, and they found the people that were outside in the sun actually recovered better than the people that were inside. So they thought, maybe there's something here to this. So a lot of, anecdotal evidence and people kind of saying, hey, my grandmother said this is good to do. And then I would say it's about 45 years ago now, NASA really started studying it, because if they're going to put people into space, then they had to figure out, how are we going to grow plants in space? Can we grow plants on Mars, things on the moon, things like that? So they started growing plants in space, and they used artificial light to do it. And they worked really hard to discover what wavelengths of this artificial light actually helped the plants to grow. And then they noticed that the astronauts that were tending to the plants, I think you can imagine that if you're an astronaut in the space station, you're bouncing around, you're getting cuts on your hands and your arms. They're not covering up all the bolts and things, but you're getting these cuts on your hands. And the people that were tending to the plants, they noticed that, wow, those little cuts on their hands heal really quick. So they thought, well, maybe this light is effective for humans. And then they worked to isolate what are the particular wavelengths. When I say wavelengths, I mean colors. There's different shades of red, there's blue, there's green, all these different colors. I think most of us are familiar with white light is made up of three primary colors, red, green, and blue. And so they isolated what are the colors that are actually helpful to humans. And then the first industry that took it big is the marijuana growing industry. So they started using artificial light. They found out that they could light up the plants for 20 hours out of the day. The plants only had to sleep for about 4 hours. And then the beauty industry said, hey, maybe we can use these same lights that they're using for growing marijuana in plants, and we can use that for health in the skin. And that's where really all the energy started going. Not only the electrical energy, but also the mind energy of what kind of benefits can we bring to the skin. And then, of course, it circles back to that, it's the sun, really. So we just have the helpful and healthful wavelengths of the sun, and there's really almost an unlimited amount of benefits to the health of a human being from using typically called red light therapy. You see the words low-level light therapy, photobiomodulation. Red is the predominant color that's used to provide the benefits to humans. So that's why we tend to stay on the term just red light therapy.
Okay, great. Wow, it had a great history, really. It's been around a long time, and we just all have heard about it in these last few years. So
Right.
Does this help people, red light therapy, does it help people with skin conditions and true medical issues.
Yeah, absolutely. So what the light therapy does is it helps heal things. So think of it when you were a kid and you rode your bicycle down the driveway and you scuffed up your elbow or your knee or something. You get a wound. Maybe you get it on your elbow like this, and it's got a scab and so on. It's all scratched up, and so if you put red light therapy on, it's going to recover basically in half the time. So in red light therapy, we say that the correct amount of power, the correct amount of wavelength for the right amount of time is going to cut the recovery time in half. So in the beauty industry, they use it for skin rejuvenation. So let's say they're using some form of a micro injury, whether it be a dermaplaning, whether it be a peel, whether it be a IPL, a laser treatment, whatever it might be. Those are all called a micro injury. They're trying to stimulate the stem cells to go there and grow the skin faster and healthier. And you do that with the micro injury, and then you hit it with the red light, and the red light nourishes the skin. You can think of it as kind of like an energy drink for the skin. And the red light then cuts the recovery time in half and makes the end result better. So you'll see all the dermatologists and the estheticians and people that are doing, typical skin rejuvenation things. They're using red light because it makes their recovery time from what they're doing cuts it in half, and it makes the end result better. So they, are more in favor if they're giving a better treatment just by adding red light therapy for 5, 10, or 15 minutes after any sort of treatment. And then it's used for a lot of things they're even using it for breast cancer now. So they'll give you supplements that go to the cancer cells in the breast tissue, and then they'll irradiate with red light and it'll oxidize those cancer cells. So, we could go on for hours and hours, but there's literally 4,000 studies out there on the benefits and the application of red light therapy. And there's like 100 new ones every month. So.
Wow, I think probably the listeners and viewers would like to know a few more of those. I had a few on my mind. What about acne? That's a big problem with people, the teens especially. Acne, eczema, rosacea, those are three biggies. Can you talk about those, and does it help at all?
Yeah, all of those can get benefit from red light therapy. There are other things that it's good to do also for those things. So it's not like stop doing everything and only use red light therapy. Red light therapy is a complementary treatment that supports other things that are being done. And these are medical applications that you're talking about. So, it's best you really have to consult with the doctor that's treating you and ask about using red light therapy to augment the treatment. For macular degeneration, for weight loss, we already talked about wound recovery. Maybe you cut your finger in the kitchen or something. You just need a very small red light therapy. That's called like a torch. And that torch will irradiate the skin cells and make it recover very, very quickly. So.
Okay. So what about arthritis? Did you mention? I don't think you mentioned that one. That's a big one for people.
Yeah, it does have a lot of benefits for arthritis. And the great thing about red light therapy is there's so many people writing about it and testing it, and so many sponsored and sanctioned studies being done that you literally, people have called up before and said to me, back when I didn't know what it was, about 9 years ago, they'd call up and say, hey, does your red light therapy help with peripheral nerve neuropathy? And I learned how to pronounce it and also how to type it. So I just typed it in. You just say red light therapy and whatever malady you're talking about, and you can get write-ups, or you can go into all the AI stuff now like Chat GPT and say, can you give me reference studies and document them in a tabular form of, what are the benefits of red light therapy? Or you can ask, what are the top 25 benefits of red light therapy? And the Chat GPT will come back and tell you those. Or you can ask specific ones like peripheral nerve neuropathy, which is one. I mentioned that one because I know it does things for peripheral nerve neuropathy. So.
Okay, what about the big question is side effects?
That's a good question.
Both of those, side effects and risks.
Yeah. So one of the things is, of course, if you could just go out in the sun, but the problem is that the sun also has photoaging. I think pretty much people are familiar with it. You can use the sun to have your body make vitamin D3. In fact, if you don't do that, you have to take it in food or supplements. You have to be out in the sun. Some animals actually make vitamin D3 in their body. We actually make it in our body when we're irradiated with sun. So those are the UV wavelengths. unfortunately, those are what cause the photoaging of the skin and give, the lack of tightness and start to show the wrinkles like you can see on me. That comes from different photoaging out in the sun. So that's one of the side effects, is if you don't have the correct wavelengths, then you can get this photoaging happening. The other side effects are in fact, the FDA has classified red light therapy as low risk general wellness. So they say, unless you're trying to hurt yourself with red light therapy, it's totally safe. Don't do anything dumb like, put a super powerful light in your eye and hold your eye open. That's going to cause problems. But as long as you're not trying to hurt yourself, you really can't hurt yourself with red light therapy. Of course, pregnancy is excluded for red light therapy, and pretty much everything. The question why? Well, because there can't be any long-term studies, right? So you're only pregnant for 9 months, but the same thing for people that have implants, maybe pacemakers or things like that. Those are cautioned for anything, including red light therapy. So the doctors that use it for that know about that, and they get the clients to sign off on it and say, no, I want to try the benefits. It's worth it. So
I guess, do you recommend or suggest that people always consult with their doctor before starting on a treatment? Or
yeah, it really depends on what you're trying to treat. If you're trying to treat, if you're experimenting, we have all these biohackers now that are out saying, hey, these are the benefits of this is the benefits of that. And you can try some of these things. But, if you're trying to treat something specific, maybe do a little research online with, like my example of red light therapy or low level light therapy, and type in the malady you're trying to treat and learn something, and then go in and talk to your doctor and say, hey, I'm considering trying this and seeing if it'll work. So, and there's several ways to do it. There's the big panels like the ones they use in the marijuana grow industry. They suspend over the plants. Those are sold by several companies. So you can get one of those and put them on, they say to put them on the back of your bathroom door. And when you get out of the shower, spin around for 20 minutes or so. But they're not very practical. The dermatologists and the estheticians, plastic surgeons, they don't use those because they're not practical. They use something that just goes specifically over the face, whether it's spaced away from the face, or now you have these different masks that go on the face. I have a couple of them here. This is one of the most popular ones out there. I'll go ahead and turn it on. It's not that bright. It's not really saturated. If I go like this, you can see it bouncing off my face. Okay. But this one is very popular. They sell several thousand of these a day that look like this, maybe slightly different, but it doesn't really have enough power or power spread around in enough places. Each place that there's an LED, there's enough power, but there's not enough LEDs. You're going to have places in between here on your skin that aren't getting anything. So the example that is used in the industry is called either a leopard spot effect, because you're only treating certain places, or you can think of as a woman, you wouldn't put your foundation on and 10 dots on your forehead and say, hey, look how good I look. So the red light is only going to hit those particular spots when you have one of these masks that's close up to your skin. Or if you're a guy, we don't go to the beach and say, put it like the little kids, if you have a little kid, you put the sunscreen in their hand and they do this, and they say, hey, I'm all done. No, you got to rub it in. So these particular masks, while they work where the lights are, get it turned back on for you. While they work where the lights are, they're effective. The lights aren't everywhere, so you're not getting a really good treatment. And that's why these are in the, $300, $400 area. You can buy ones even less expensive than that, but you're not going to get an effective treatment just because of the spacing of the lights.
Okay, so the choices to get this process done, to get red light therapy. You have a mask model. You have what? The stand-up one. What other ways can you get red light therapy?
The panels, they have ones that look like, a series of panels they can bend around your face like this. Those are the more professional ones. They run $15,000 to $25,000. So those are available. And those would be probably, in spa type treatments. They put those on, use them for 20 minutes. And you put that on for 20 minutes and go look in the mirror afterwards. And you're, wow, my skin looks so much better. Okay.
Right.
You get a benefit in one treatment. And then there's mats that look like little washcloths that have lights on them. They use those for body contouring or aches and pains and things. You can put on your carpal tunnel on your wrist and irradiate it with red light. So there's several different There's torches. Torches look like a lipstick container that if you want to put it on your carpal tunnel, you just put it right on right there and just move it around a little bit. You wouldn't use something like that to do your whole face. There's little handhelds that have something about this size, spot size, this size. Again, they say you should use that on your face, but could you imagine 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes? I mean, you're going to do it once and quit, right? So there's different ones that are good for different things. So you got to decide what you're trying to treat.
So, we trust you because we know you've gone to manufacturers and made your own and developed and created your own red light therapy. Are all created equal? Which I know you're going to tell us no.
Yeah. So it's just like this example I was showing you here. Maybe I won't turn it on, and you can better see the spacing between the. I got to turn it on to see the spacing. Sorry. You can see the spacing between the LEDs, and there are just not enough LEDs to do a good job there. So if you want to get a mask that has a good effectivity, this is going to work where the dots are, where the lights are, but you don't want to consider using this on your face and moving around, 6 times just to get the dots in all the places. So you get something like this one here that has a lot more. I'll hold it up close to the camera. Look at all the LEDs it has.
Wow.
So it's going to give you really, really good coverage. So there are masks that are available. And some of the experts in the industry say that the vast majority of products do absolutely nothing. So you have to be careful what you pick. If you take this one as an example, which I have on, and I put my finger on it, you can see that it's shining through my finger, right? Let me get my finger up in the camera there. Shining through my finger.
Yes.
Let me get my finger turned so you can see. But it's not going to shine where there is no light. So it's not going to do any benefit. Where one that has more uniform energy like this is going to, you're going to get coverage everywhere. And you're going to see the result in, a few treatments, you'll see the result. So.
What about the power output? Should people be aware of the power output? With more power is better, or?
Yeah, more power is better, but mainly uniform energy. Because if you look at the masks that I was showing you, there's 2 of them. You're not going to have uniform energy. The mask that doesn't have the very good coverage does have enough power at one point. Pretty much you can tell. You don't have to have a power meter, but you see where if I put my finger right on the light, then you can see that, it's shining through my finger. Well, if it could shine through my finger, then it's going to shine deep enough into my face, right, to do a treatment. But if you look where I have my finger where there are no lights, then it's not shining through my finger. So we're only getting treatment in certain spots. So you don't really have to have a power meter to know if it has enough power. You can simply put your finger on it on one of the lights and say, yeah, that has enough power to go through my finger. So as long as it's on my face, it's going to do good. These have relatively low power because they're run by very small power supplies, right? But you don't need to have a large power if you're sitting right on your skin. The panels that you can hang on the wall or put on your desk and do this in the morning, you probably don't want to do that for 5 or 10 minutes, more than a day or two, and you're going to want to do something else. But those have enough power. You can't get too close to those because they have so much power. You have to be a certain distance away. So in the skin rejuvenation space, people say you should have 15 milliwatts per square centimeter. And that's about what these have here, 15 milliwatts per square centimeter. And in the panels that are farther distance away, you do have uniform energy because they're farther away and all the energy is coming back here and mixing it all up. Those have about 100 milliwatts per square centimeter is what you need to really achieve a result by the time it hits your skin. So,
So if somebody wants to take this treatment and take advantage of it, they can either buy a product to use at home, or they can go to their aesthetic doctors. Is that?
Yeah. They can go to the dermatologists, the plastic surgeons, the estheticians. There's so many of them sold that you can try a friend's, before you do it, or buy it on Amazon and try it, because if it doesn't work for you, you don't think you like it, it's not easy to use, in 2 or 3 weeks, I think it is, you can return it, no questions asked on Amazon. So, I mean, I'd hate to think all the red light products get returned, because I know a lot of them that are on Amazon don't do anything. So,
right.
I mean, all of them don't do anything. I'm just saying, you have to be careful and pick one that actually is effective. So if you hold it up and make sure it's getting to your skin, and then put your finger on to make sure it's getting through, then it's probably going to do a good job.
Okay. And then how long do you leave? If you have one at home, how long should you leave it on daily?
Yeah, you can do it twice a day with an 8-hour break in between. and do it from 5 to 20 minutes. So, you can't really do it too much. These don't have too much power. I mean, if you were in the spa and you had a $25,000 one over your face, they're not going to let you do it more than 20 minutes and every other day, because your skin has to have a chance to recover, like normalize essentially.
Okay, great. Sounds like great service. I've actually used red light therapy in the past, ladies and gentlemen, and I will tell you it has worked miracles for people I've known, and I love it as well. So we
Yeah,
appreciate
if you have one that works. So,
Yes.
you talk to a lot of people and they say, "Oh, I've tried it. It doesn't do anything." Well, that's because they tried something that didn't work, So,
Right. We know it works. So can we talk a little bit more about those 3 different colors that you were talking about? So
oh yeah,
red is for your face and skin. We know all about red.
right.
Tell us about the other colors and what they're for, please.
Hey, thanks. So there's 5 primary colors that are used in the equipment. So red is I would say, 85% of the use is for red because it has so many benefits to your skin and other processes. And then near infrared is going to be good because it penetrates a little bit deeper and gets some of the lower structures, tendons and muscles and things like that, and reaches down to some lower fat levels. So near infrared penetrates deeper. And then another color that's used is green. Green tends to normalize melanin production. So some people have, I don't really have any, I don't think. Just checking here.
Hey,
Brown
your
spots.
skin looks real good.
Oh, thanks. For 68, not too bad, huh?
No.
So melanin, brown spots, liver spots, age spots, all those things. You can have lotions and creams that work for that, but some people like to use green light. It works quite effectively to normalize the melanin production. And then the next color that typically used is blue. Of course, these all have to be the right wavelength. They can't just be a green or a red or a near infrared. There's certain ones that work better, and there's been a lot of research to figure them out. In red, it's 635 to 660, 670. Near infrared, it's around 830. Green is 520. Blue is 415, and yellow is 590. 415 for blue is proclaimed as killing bacteria, specifically acne. There's really only one study that says that blue works on acne. So a lot of companies will sell blue because people want to buy it, but there's not the same amount of research on blue as there is on red and some of the other colors. So I always tell people just use red because you're going to get all the benefits from red. People say, oh, it helps out with age spots. It helps out with whitening the skin. It helps out with lots and lots of things. So, and then the final color that's used is yellow. That's pretty rare, but it's 590 nanometers. And it basically keeps the scar tissue when a procedure is done. It keeps the scar tissue from getting dark. So it keeps it light, right after you get the procedure. So it's a whitening type treatment that works right after a procedure is done. A pretty aggressive procedure, not something that you'd be doing at home. So those are used in the spa, dermatologist and plastic surgeon.
Mm-hmm. So you've been really filling us full of a lot of great information. I hope everybody goes out and gets a red light therapy or tries it and help you with many benefits. But what if somebody has some questions? Are they able to go ahead and email you or?
Yeah, sure. You can send me a
website?
message, and they can go on our website. It's right there, lumarasystems.com. And there's a number of trade shows in the industry. We happen to be going to one here in a couple of weeks. That's in Las Vegas. And there's a lot of providers there because people are there looking for product and buying product, and you can ask questions. And I'll tell you, not everybody in the industry, I know them all really well, but not all of them can answer all the questions. So, if you go to ask a question and it doesn't seem like they made it easy for you to understand, then they probably don't know it, or they're trying to deceive you or something. So it's not that mysterious. It's quite easy. I try to make it non-technical when people ask the questions and give them suggestions on things. Unfortunately, even at the trade shows, there's a bunch of products that don't work. So I tend to give a session on how to identify a working product or not while you're here at the trade show without having all the meters and gadgets. The meters, I don't seem to have any right here, but they're about the same as a iPhone. I mean, it looks really big because if I put it back here, it doesn't look so big. But the meters are are available, but you don't really need those. You can just use your finger and see if it shines through your finger. Because if it shines through my finger, then it's going to shine through my face and get deep enough to do some good. So we are not in the large panel business. We are in the face business. So all of the questions on the face you can ask. There are a lot of really good people that work on the large panels. There's some great companies that make large panels, and that's an option to go at also, is to look at that. So there is a good web if you're interested in the panels, the large panels that hang on the wall or hang above your bed. It's a little precarious to hang it above your bed, probably, because it's kind of heavy. But the large panels, there's a guy that really does a good job of reviewing them. His name is Alex Fergus. So you can take a look at that. There's a guy that's really good on all the red light therapy. His name is Ari Witten. And then there's a couple of, other companies that are really good. One of them is Lightstim. They're pretty good at explaining things. They've been in business quite a long time. And another one is Lightwave Technologies. Those are some, well-regarded, respected companies that will, give you the straight scoop on what's happening and what works and what doesn't work.
Sure. And if there's a doctor with a clinic, I'm sure they sell your products or offer your products. They can get a hold of you through.
Yeah, there's a number of them that do that. So, but please just feel free to, get on our website and send a message in and say, hey, I saw a bill with Trish on World Wellness, and I have a question, or something didn't seem clear when he was explaining it, or he didn't address this question, and I'll be happy to talk to you. So.
Well, great. Well, we're out of time, and we're pleased to have learned so much of information about red light therapy, and you're very knowledgeable. So we all trust you because you created some of them. So you know all the ins and outs, and we appreciate that.
Thank you very much. Well, I'll tell you, your skin looks fabulous. So
yes, I take your advice.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So it is a micro injury red light therapy and an antioxidant serum. And I'm looking. Everybody said, "Why are you looking that way?" Well, I'm looking at Trisha's great skin. So.
Well, thank you so much.
From her, what she's using. So.
Well, you'll have to come back again, and we'll get some more information out of you. And until then, thank you for coming.
Thanks, everybody, for watching.